Some betrayals don't just break your heart, they bury your soul. He spent 20 years behind bars for a crime he swore he didn't commit. The murder of the woman he loved. They said she was gone, never coming back. No body, just blood. Enough to send him away for life. But fate has a way of circling back. Because one day, years later, far from home, far from everything, he saw something that made the world stop. A laugh he hadn't heard in ages. A face he thought he'd only see in his nightmares. In that moment, everything he thought he'd buried came roaring back to life. He followed quietly, watched carefully, and listened. She looked happy, free, untouched by the years that age and behind cold steel bars. He was supposed to move on, rebuild, be grateful for his freedom. But some wounds don't heal. Some ghosts don't stay dead. And some love stories aren't love stories at all. What started as a reunion wouldn't end like one. This isn't just another crime. This is something darker, deeper, the kind of story that crawls under your skin and settles in your chest. When the truth finally came out, it wasn't just shocking. It was almost unbelievable. Stay with us. You're watching the Unknown Truth TV. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for weekly stories that will leave you stunned and questioning everything. Marcus Thorne was the kind of man most women say they want, but very few actually choose. In his mid-20s, tall, soft-spoken, with hands calloused from years of honest work. He was a skilled carpenter by trade, a quiet soul raised by his grandmother in rural Alabama after his mother died young. He believed in loyalty, hard work, and most of all, he believed in love. Then came Olivia Hayes. She was everything he wasn't. Wild, seductive, magnetic. Olivia didn't walk into a room. She arrived like a storm. In her early 20s, she was sharp-tongued and beautiful in a dangerous way. Folks in town had known her name since high school, and not for good reasons. She dropped out at 17, started dating older men, and before long, she was moving weight. Street-level drugs for a local crew out of Miami. But when Marcus met her, all he saw was potential. He didn't see the trap. They met at a gas station on a rainy Wednesday night. He was filling up his truck. She was inside arguing with the cashier over a declined card. He stepped in, paid for her snacks, and walked to her car. She smiled at him in a way he couldn't forget. Within weeks, they were inseparable. Olivia told him she'd left the drug game behind, said she was tired of the streets and wanted something real. Marcus believed her. She moved in with him and his grandmother. She started talking about getting a job at the beauty salon down the street. Marcus was working 2 jobs by then, days at the construction site and nights at a warehouse, just to make ends meet. But he didn't mind. He believed in building something from the ground up. Then Olivia told him she was pregnant. Marcus cried. It was the happiest he'd ever been. He bought baby books, painted the spare bedroom, and started putting money aside. But 3 weeks later, Olivia said she had a miscarriage. But she didn't tell him. What no one knew was that she had secretly terminated the pregnancy. She never wanted a baby, not really, but Marcus still saw her as the mother of his future kids. And when she broke down one night, cried about how much she loved him, he proposed. She said yes. Their wedding was small, just close friends and family. Marcus's grandmother gave them her blessing, even though she never fully trusted Olivia. Something about that girl doesn't sit right with me, she once whispered. But Marcus didn't listen. He was in love. He didn't see the late-night phone calls, the mysterious trips to see a cousin that lasted all weekend. He didn't notice the new jewelry she wore but never explained, or the way she always had just enough cash, though she hadn't worked a single job. The truth was, Olivia had never stopped. She was still running drugs, quietly, carefully, still tied to her old crew, who now saw her as more useful because of her clean image. She used Marcus's truck sometimes, saying she needed to run errands. He thought she was grocery shopping, but she was really dropping off packages across county lines. She was playing a double life. Sometimes when Marcus would wake up for his warehouse shift at 3 a.m., he'd find Olivia scrolling through her phone in the dark, whispering to someone. He'd ask who she was talking to. She'd lie and say her cousin was going through a breakup. He believed her again. Neighbors started to whisper. They saw Olivia with different people during the day. men in expensive cars. Marcus's grandmother warned him, telling him to keep his eyes open. But love has a way of making even the smartest men foolish. Olivia knew exactly what she was doing. She knew Marcus was a perfect cover. A clean record, a steady job. The kind of man no one would ever suspect. He gave her stability, and in return, she gave him just enough attention to keep him blind. Every time she felt him pulling away, she'd reel him back in with soft words and fake tears. She told him he was her peace, that no one had ever loved her like he did, that she wanted to build a family with him one day. Marcus wanted to believe that. He needed to believe that. But love isn't blind. It just refuses to look until it's too late. That's the end of episode 1. Trust me, episode 2 will shock you even more. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.